Hello, hello, hello. We're going to do Revelation chapter 21 today, and it's going to be awesome and amazing because we are closing out the book. We're getting to the only happy, exciting things. Now, there's some judgment, and there's some, lakes of burning fire, of course, because if it's not a book of it's not the book of Revelation if it's not fire all the time. But this is about, well, way back earlier on in the book, when there were some people, they were underneath an altar. They were under the altar and they were crying out. What?
How long, O Lord?
How long, O Lord, until you avenge us? He's doing it. He's taking care of them. He's getting them together. He's protecting them. He is rewarding them. The how long is not that long, because it's now. Well, it's now in chapter 21, if that makes sense. So God is rewarding his people. So sometimes we feel like, how long is this coronavirus going to last? Well, eventually we will have freedom. We will have liberty. We will be delivered from the confines and the troubles that we're dealing with. We are going to pick up now in chapter 21. Most of the drawing that I'm going to do on my piece of paper is going to be here at the beginning, and then we'll draw on the board afterwards. So let me get the paper ready here. Uh-oh. Come on, silly thing. There we go. Remember how it ended with people were going to be judged by God based on their books of their lives, and there'd be God was so big that the whole world was fleeing away. You couldn't hide from God in any way. And even if you're in the sea or in the water, you would still be raised. And all these people would come back and they would be judged. And we will all be judged based on these books. And some of us are going to be happy about the judgment. And some of us are going to be a little bit sad about the judgment and a little bit nervous about the judgment. Well, this is kind of what we're going to be reading about. That sort of stuff. But now in chapter 21. So let me scoot this down and we'll start reading. And I saw a new heaven. Oops, you can't see it. There we go. There we go. I saw a new heaven and a new earth. Doesn't that sound nice?
Yeah.
A new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth are passed away, and the sea is no more. And I saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, made ready as a bride adorned for her husband. And so I'm going to draw it coming down from God, that it's sitting on a cloud, okay? And here is Jerusalem, and I'm going to make Jerusalem look like it's kind of a happy castle place. I don't know what it's going to look like, right? So I'm just going to draw it come down like this with big walls, and there's the doors, and I'm going to have it so that you can see like the doors are open. All right, you can see inside, and I guess there's people in there, and they're waving. And it's coming down. It's coming down to people. This is a great thing. It's coming down. The New Jerusalem is coming down to us. And we're going to get to see inside. It's coming down, and it looks like a bride. I guess I'll give it long hair. Why is it calling New Jerusalem like a bride adorned for her husband, do you think? And I'll give it earrings. Like it's a pretty lady. Well, we do know that the Christians are going to marry, and here's a necklace. We do know that the Christians are going to be like they're married to Jesus. And so it could be something like that. And here's this big, beautiful necklace with bangles. And it's just glorious and bright and happy. I think that that's the idea. It's been made beautiful. It's been made right. It's made wonderful. And we're all excited about it. And I heard a great voice out of the throne saying, "Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men." That is a wonderful thing. So here's people, and they're all excited because now God's temple, God's city, God's tabernacle is with them, and they can be rejoicing and happy about this wonderful thing. And it's called like a bride, it's called a holy city, it's called the tabernacle, all these words describing all these different ways of God being with his people, and they're just so excited about it. They're so happy that God is with them. That's the idea. He shall dwell with them, and they shall be his peoples, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. And he shall wipe away every tear from their eyes. And death shall be no more, neither shall there be any mourning, nor crying, nor pain anymore. The first things are passed away. And so even if you fall down and you hurt your knee and you think that you're about to cry, right? Well, it says that there's going to be no more pain, no more crying, no more mourning. And so here comes in God, and he's got this big handkerchief that he's holding on to, and he's going to wipe away all your tears. Now, I don't know if that means that God is literally going to wipe tears off of our face. That's not the point. But remember how at the very beginning of the book of Revelation, when John falls down scared and Jesus reaches out and puts his hand on him, and that just proves that Jesus isn't just God. Jesus is also this loving, compassionate man. Here is God wiping away our sadness. God is going to take the time to do that. Now, if you fall down and you hurt your knee, and your mom comes and she helps you with your skin knee and she gives you a big hug, well, that's mom's job. That's what she's supposed to do. But could you imagine the president of the United States or the Queen of England coming down and helping you with a skinned knee? Someone important?
No.
Yes, moms are important. We all know moms are important. But, there's a difference between your mom and the Queen of England. Wouldn't it be cool if you got help from someone like that? God is coming down in his holy city, in his holy tabernacle, all the way from heaven to be with us so that we can be happy forever. That's what chapter 21 is all about. It's really, really nice. All right, I'll keep reading now in verse 5. And he that sits on the throne said, okay, you can draw a throne if you want. Here's a throne. We've been drawing thrones for the whole book, right? That's something that's been in the whole book. Who do you think is sitting on the throne?
God
I think it's probably God.
and Jesus.
Yeah. He that sits on the throne said, behold, I make all things new. All problems, all things are going to be made into something that's new and bright and shiny and wonderful. I don't know what this design is, but this is me showing him making things new. He says, write, for these words are faithful and true. Remember, that was John's book, or John's job throughout the whole book of Revelation was to write down the things that he saw. So he still needs to write. So I'm going to draw this in a pencil, and he's still writing down all the things that are happening because these are faithful, true words. That means these things will happen. God will take care of us. God really will try to do what he can to make things right for us. And he said unto me, they are come to pass. I am the Alpha and the Omega. Remember, that was a description of Jesus, the beginning and the end. If God is the beginning and the end, then he sure knows what the end is going to be like. And I think that's one of the things that he's saying here. I will give unto him that is athirst or thirsty of the fountain of the water of life freely. He that overcomes shall inherit these things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. All right, not only is God going to take care of our tears, but if anyone is thirsty, what is God going to do?
Give us water.
Yeah, but not just any water. Where does this water come from?
Fountain.
Yeah, the fountain of the water of life. And think about that, water of life. does the Bible talk about water of life at other times?
Mm, mm, mm.
We're
No.
baptized in water, and so you
Mhm.
have you're born again in water, and there is some prophecies in the Old Testament that talk about having waters. If you read Isaiah chapter 12, there's a really happy passage about drawing from the well of life and how there's joy in that. And so this is an idea that we see elsewhere in the New Testament. So not only do you get to drink, but you get from the fountain of the water of life freely. So does that mean you only get one glass of soda, one glass of the water of life?
No.
No, you get as much as you want. God is happy. Oh, I found a blue colored pencil. God is happy to give us as much of this water as we could want, as we could ever need. God is very generous. If we can drink the water of life, can we ever die?
No. No.
And so God is saying, if you overcome, if you can stay good and never get the mark of the beast, if you can keep trying to love God and not being selfish, if you can overcome, you will get this water. You will inherit these things. And I will be your God and you will be my son. But, but for the fearful, the unbelieving, the abominable, the murderers, the fornicators, he's just listing sins, right? The sorcerers, idolaters, and liars, their part shall be in the lake that burns with fire and brimstone, which is the second death.
The water?
That's the options that God gives us. So if we are thirsty, if we're trying to overcome, God is happy to take care of us and to give us from the water of life. But if instead, when we are facing trials and tribulations, we get fearful and we don't do good, if we're unbelieving, if we don't do the right things, and we don't stick with God, what's going to be the result? Do you remember what it said?
They're gonna have fire and brimstone.
Yeah, the lake of fire and brimstone. So that's what's really interesting. We already saw this lake, right?
Yeah.
We've seen this lake, but now it's being compared to another kind of water. Because if it is a lake of fire and brimstone, then that kind of means it's like it's water on fire, right?
Yeah.
And so here we see the pattern full. Here we see it really come true and to have a strong meaning. If we overcome and are faithful, we will get what kind of water? I need to fix that mouth. Good water. It's going to be the water of life that will be happy for us, and we will have life forevermore. If we are fearful and unbelieving, sorry, the picture stopped. If we are fearful and unbelieving, if we are abominable and terrible, if we don't obey, if we lie about things, we're going to get this kind of water. You got your choice, guys. This is what God says a bunch of times in the Bible, over and over again. You can choose this, or you can choose this. And he makes it really clear here in this book. You can choose life, or you can choose death. Life is hard because we've got to overcome the devil, and we've got to overcome these hard times. But if we choose this, we're really going to suffer. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right. that we are going to pick up now with verse 9. We've only done 8 verses. Oh my goodness, I need to get moving. Now I'm turning into like a slow adult class. I need to pick up the pace like you guys would do. All right, verse 9. There came out one of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls. Okay, here comes an angel again. All right, here's his wings, and he's coming out. We were laden with the last 7 plagues, and he spoke with me, saying, come hither. That's just old-fashioned for here. Come here, and I will show you the bride, the wife of the Lamb. Have we seen her before?
No.
We've seen that bride before who marries the Lamb, so we're going to see her again here. And he carried me away in the spirit to a mountain, great and high, and showed me the holy city Jerusalem. Wait a minute. What was he supposed to see?
A bride.
He was supposed to see the bride. What does he end up seeing? The holy city Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, having the glory of God, and her light was unto most precious and jasper stone, clear as crystal. So he was going to see a blushing bride, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what he ends up seeing is a city. Instead, he sees a city. Now, remember in the very book of the beginning of Revelation, how it said he is the Lion of Judah, and when he turned to look at the Lion of Judah, instead of seeing a lion, he saw a lamb.
Yeah.
So it's that same kind of thing. You think it's going to be one thing, but then it turns out to be this other thing. He thinks he's going to see the lady, the bride, the Christian saints, but instead he's going to see this city. So we are the city of Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, having the glory of God, the saints made glorious by God. Her light was like unto a stone most precious, like a jewel, as it were a jasper stone, clear as crystal, having a great wall. Okay, the city has a wall, high, with 12 gates. We're getting details about this city now, okay? It has a high wall. It has 12 gates, and at the 12 gates are 12 angels, and the names are written on them, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Okay, so the tribes are there at the gates. There, on the east were 3 gates. On the north were 3 gates. On the south were 3 gates. And on the west were 3 gates. So that's 4 sides, and each side had 3 gates. That's the idea. North, south, east, west. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations. There's the number 12 again. And on them were the 12 names of the 12 apostles. So there's 12 gates with the 12 tribes. Now there's 12 foundations with the 12 apostles. You see how the numbers are happening a whole bunch?
Mm-hmm.
12 apostles of the Lamb. Okay. And so there's some sort of holy city, and it has 1, 2, 3 gates, and then 1, 2, 3 gates, like that. And then on the other side, I'll just draw this high wall. There'd be 3 gates over here. 1, 2, 3, and 3 gates over there. Does that make sense? So there's lots of ways of getting in, and there's somehow a bunch of foundations underneath it. So that, I guess that means it's really founded strong. Like when Jesus preaches about being founded on the rock, this is being founded on 12 rock foundations. Maybe that's the idea. Okay? So this is what John is seeing, and now we're going to get a lot of details. We're about to draw it on the backboard, but I got to read a lot. He that spoke with me had a measure, had for a measure a golden reed to measure the city, okay, to see how big it is, right? The gates thereof and the wall thereof. And the city lies 4 square. That is an old-fashioned word. It means the length thereof was as great as the breadth, and we measured the city of the reed 12,000 furlongs, the length and the breadth and the height thereof equal. So basically, it is as tall as it is wide as it is deep. Do you know what shape that would make?
A square.
Not just a square,
A rectangle.
a cube, a perfect cube. This length is the same as this height, and that's the same as this width. So a lot like a square. Very, very good. And it had 3 gates on each side. Why do you think it was a perfect cube? My guess, so it would look perfect and look beautiful. That's my guess about it. All right. He measured the wall thereof was 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, which is that of an angel. So it's really thick walls. Really thick, strong walls, is I think the idea. And the building of the wall thereof was of jasper. And the city was pure gold, like unto pure glass. Have you ever seen gold that you could see through, like glass? That doesn't really exist. So I don't even know what this means. The foundation of the city was adorned with all manner of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third chalcedony, the fourth emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh chrysolite, the eighth beryl, the ninth topaz, the 10th chrysoprase, the 11th jacinth, and the 12th amethyst. There's a lot of crystals. And the 12 gates were 12 pearls, and each one of the several gates was of one pearl, a pearl big enough that you could walk through. And the street of the city was pure gold, as it were transparent glass. Okay, so now we have to try to draw this place. This is kind of a fun one, and you need a lot of colors. I don't know if I have enough colors, but we'll see what we can do. So, I don't know if this is exactly what heaven is going to look like, but this is what John gets to see. So what shape should I draw it? Is it a circle?
A perfect block.
A perfect block. And I'm going to draw it from like the corner side, like this. Oh, I'm going to lower it down because I need some space below. Sorry. Mine might not be perfect block cube shape, but it'll be close, okay? And I'm not going to make the walls look as thick because really they're thick walls, but compared to how big the place is, they're not that thick. All right, so how many gates are on each side? 3. 3 gates. I'm going to make the gates look really small because I need to draw some around them. And what are the names on each gate? Do you remember that? 12 gates, the 12
apostles.
Good guess. Not the apostles, but the tribes. So, all right. Usually you kids have memorized these better than me. Name some of the tribes. Levi is one.
Levi's. Judah.
Judah. Reuben. Simeon.
Levi.
We got Levi. Benjamin.
Asher.
Good. Asher. All right, I will stop there because I can't draw on the other side. All right, so there's the gates, all right? And I'm going to draw them black so that we can see them. And they would have the different names on them. But it also said, what are the gates made out of?
Oh.
A pearl. So you got to somehow draw gigantic pearls all around them. I don't even know what that would look like. Can you imagine the oyster it would take to make a pearl that big?
No. Maybe a pearl big as your closet door.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that. It has those gates, and it has a thick wall, and it's 4 square. It's this perfect block. And then it has Okay, it says that it's made out, it's like this jasper, so it might have a little bit of a red color to it. I think, if I remember right, jasper was kind of a reddish color. And I'm not going to color the whole thing in. I'm just going to do a couple little marks to make it look like it was a little bit red. So this is not a very pretty red marker, but you get the idea. It did have some nice pretty red coloring to it, okay? So it's nice and red. Then it has 12 foundations underneath the gates. So I'm going to see if I can do this. All right, so here we go. 1, 2. I don't even know if you're going to be able to see all these colors. 3. 4. 5. Oh, that one doesn't even work at all. Oh, I'm not using that one yet. 6. Pretend that this black is a pretty color black. 7. 8. I'm running out of colors. 9. 10. 11. And we're just going to have to pretend. Ooh, I might have 12. 12! It's another red, but it's a slightly different red. All right, can you see that? Hey, yeah, that kind of came through okay. And, of course, the way I drew it, it makes it look like it might fall over. That's not the point. The point of a foundation is that it's going to hold it up and hold it still. Okay, so here's my big question. What are the streets in heaven made out of? What did it say?
Gold, I think.
Gold. Why?
Jonathan's
Why does the Bible say that the streets in heaven are made out of gold? Do you think we're really going to go to heaven and have to walk around on gold?
No.
No.
Probably not. So why?
It looks really cool.
Why do you think?
Well, that's very big.
Because it's royal.
Royal? It would be beautiful, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would be special. Do you usually make the floor out of something wonderful and valuable? Like diamonds
No.
and gold?
No.
No. No, you'd be kind of wasting it. If you're standing on gold and it's beneath your feet, it's like saying, oh, I don't like gold. I just put it on the ground because I don't like it. Is that the way we treat gold?
No.
No.
But when we get to heaven, it's so nice there. Who cares about gold? Or think about this. Think about this. Have you ever heard stories of kings? Kings that would be buried with gold in their tombs? What if they show up at heaven and they say, I was a great king and I bring you bags and bags of gold. Do you know what everyone in heaven's going to say?
No.
Throw it in the cement mixer and we'll make some more roads out of it. Well, but I'm a rich king. No, you're not. Because in heaven, everything's turned upside down. Everything's so beautiful there. What we thought would make us beautiful here on earth, no. God is what's the beautiful thing when we're in heaven. And his city is so beautiful. Okay, let's do a little bit more screen sharing here.
Oh, that was it.
We're going to do the last little paragraph. The last little paragraph. This is an interesting thing. All right, so we're going to get to heaven and look at this line. And I saw no temple there. Wait a minute. What? How can there be? It's heaven. It's the holy city of God. When we get to heaven, there's no temple?
I could.
Why is there no temple? For the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb are the temple. Oh my goodness. Isn't that cool? When we get to heaven, are we gonna have to build him a temple?
No.
He is the temple. Think about how beautiful the temple was in the Old Testament, or even in Jesus' day, and how everyone was really excited about it. In heaven, God is his own temple. All right, come on, wake up, machine. There we go. There is no temple thereof, for the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb are the temple. And the city has no need of the sun, neither of the moon to shine upon it, for the glory of God did lighten it, and the lamp thereof is the Lamb. So you don't need the sun. All you need is God and the Lamb, because they are even brighter. Look, the brightness is overpowering the sun even. And the nations, the peoples, shall walk amidst the light thereof. God is going to let people walk in his light. That's similar to the things that we do read in the Bible. Let your face shine upon me. Let your countenance shine upon us. Walk in light. You must be in light. All those ideas. And the kings of the earth shall bring their glory unto it. All these people, they're going to try to bring as many wonderful things as they can to God. Now, honestly, can you bring anything to God that'll make God look better?
No.
God already looks great. But if you had something special, you would want to bring it to God, because God deserves all the glory. Even if God is so glorious, your gift isn't very big. You know, you bring a golden crown, or you bring a bag of money, I don't know. But still, we can try to thank God and bless God. And the gates thereof shall no wise be shut by day, for there shall be no night there. And they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations to it, and there shall no wise enter anything unclean, or he that makes an abomination and a lie, but only they which are written in the Lamb's book of life. All these people that are coming up to God, and they're trying to bring nice things to God. Are there any bad people there?
No.
No. Only people who are good. Only people who are loving. Only the people who will not lie and will not hurt. Which means that when we are in heaven, I'm going to go ahead and draw God and the Lamb here. I'll take this back. Here's God. And here's the Lamb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I just keep drawing him that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's the Lamb, right? And they are the bright light of heaven. And I think that that's really great. Let me get these two markers and see if I can do 2 at a time. Like that. There's the light showing up. Can you see those colors?
No.
No, not at all, huh?
A little bit.
Little
I can
bit.
see a little bit.
See, they're really cool looking colors at my place, but they don't really go in the video very well. Okay, there's a little bit of light. You can see a little bit of that light. I'll do a little bit like this. It's glorious, and it's bright, and it's happy, and this is the great thing. This is the thing that we're going for. And if we are in the Lamb's book of life, then we will be there. And if no one who lies is allowed in, if no bad, abominable person is allowed in, think about how safe it is there. Think about how secure it is there. Have you ever heard the idea in the Bible that the lamb will lay down to take a nap with the lion?
No.
No.
It doesn't say the word nap, but the lamb shall lay with the lion. And there's a passage in Isaiah that says the little baby will play by the snakes pit and be safe because there's no harm. That's the safety found there. That's what heaven is like. God wipes away our tears. God protects us. God listens to us. God is our temple. God loves us. Isn't that great?
Yes, definitely.
I mean, what's better than God?
Right.
Nothing.
Mr. Dan,
Mm-hmm.
I want to show you something.
Well, cool. Well, how about we do some questions first? You can show me afterwards.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions about this before we close out? Edmund, you got a question?
So, I thought you should have drawn God like a lion.
Yeah? Well, I can. Now, I don't want to be silly about it, but there's times when it is, he talks about, in the Old Testament in particular, give him a lion's mane. Because it talks about how sometimes God is ferocious and venging. There's times when like a lion tearing in the judgment, how a lion would tear and tear the people apart. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks a bunch, guys. This was a lot of fun. And I think your question's right. What's better than God? I can't think of anything. All right. I will see you guys later.